When Doctor Who star Alex Kingston's elimination was leaked hours before the broadcast, fans erupted across social media, calling the result abysmal. But what nobody knew was the brutal truth hiding beneath those glittering costumes. This wasn't just another dance competition exit. This was a woman battling through physical agony, a shocking injury cover-up, and a judge's decision that left the internet absolutely fuming. The real story behind Alex Kingston's Strictly Come Dancing departure is darker and more complex than anyone imagined. The beloved actress had been dancing with partner Johannes Radebe, creating some of the most memorable moments in the show's history. But when those final votes came in, everything fell apart in the most dramatic way possible. Buckle up, because what really went down behind the Strictly curtain is about to blow your mind. The 10th week of Strictly kicked off with a bombshell nobody saw coming. A brand new instant dance challenge was thrown at the remaining 6 couples, forcing them to perform with almost zero preparation. Think about that for a second. These celebrities, who spend hours perfecting every single move, suddenly had to pick a random dance style, hear the music, sprint through wardrobe like their lives depended on it, and then get exactly 10 seconds to plan their entire routine. 10 seconds! Lewis Cope and Katja Jones won the challenge, but for Alex Kingston, this chaotic new format would become part of her undoing. The pressure was insane, the stakes were higher than ever, and the judges were ranking everyone from best to worst, handing out crucial extra points that could make or break someone's journey to the finals. Viewers called it completely mad, watching celebrities scrambling through costumes and desperately trying to remember choreography they'd learned weeks ago. The whole thing turned Strictly's usually polished performances into pure live television chaos. Some fans absolutely loved the fresh energy, others found it stressful to watch. But here's where things get really interesting. While everyone was focused on this wild new challenge, something much more sinister was happening with Alex Kingston. The cameras caught glimpses of medical tape peeking through her ball gown during the Blackpool performance the week before, and eagle-eyed fans immediately started asking questions. What was going on? Was she injured? How badly?
The truth, when it finally came out, was absolutely shocking. Alex's daughter Salome revealed on Instagram that her mother had performed with a dislocated rib. Not a minor strain, not a little soreness, a fully dislocated rib. And she had danced through it all, smiling through the pain, giving everything she had to stay in the competition. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Strictly fan base. People couldn't believe what they were reading. This wasn't just dedication. This was a woman pushing her body beyond its limits, risking further damage, all for the love of dance. When confronted about the injury, Alex downplayed it as merely a minor issue, insisting she'd be back in rehearsals immediately. But fans weren't buying the brave face. They saw a performer in genuine distress, someone who deserved so much better than what was about to happen. The scoring that night told a brutal story. Alex and Johannes landed at the bottom of the leaderboard with just 23 points for their cha-cha. Meanwhile, at the top, both Amber Davies with Nikita Kuzmin and Karen Carney with Carlos Guaki scored perfect 40s. The gap was massive, devastating, and for someone dancing with a dislocated rib, completely understandable. But here's what made it even more heartbreaking. This wasn't week 1 or week 2, this was week 10. Alex had survived 9 weeks of competition, created history-making moments, received standing ovations from the judges, and built an incredible partnership with Johannes. She was just 1 week away from the quarterfinals, 1 single week. To come so close and fall so short felt like the cruelest twist of fate. The internet had already exploded before the official results show even aired. Because here's the thing about Strictly that drives fans absolutely crazy. The results show gets recorded right after the Saturday performance, but it doesn't broadcast until Sunday evening. That gap gives insiders plenty of time to leak what happened, spoiling the outcome for millions of viewers. When the spoilers dropped, revealing Alex's elimination, fans were gutted. Social media turned into a war zone of emotions. People were posting broken heart emojis, writing messages about how abysmal the decision was, expressing genuine grief over losing someone who had brought so much joy to the competition.
Alex and Johannes brought back their cha-cha, the same routine that had scored them those disappointing 23 points. Balvinder and Julian performed their jive. The judges had to choose who to save, and this is where things get really messy. Anton Dubek voted to save Alex and Johannes, recognizing their journey and potential. But Craig Revel Horwood and Motsi Mabuse both chose to save Balvinder and Julian. That left everything in the hands of head judge Shirley Ballas, who had the casting vote and also chose to save Balvinder and Julian. 3 judges against 1. Alex Kingston's Strictly journey was over. The decision sparked immediate controversy. Bookmakers had actually predicted Balvinder as most likely to leave, making the outcome even more surprising. Here's why that prediction made sense. Balvinder had been in the dance-off 4 times during the competition. 4 times she'd faced elimination, and 4 times the judges had saved her. Some fans started questioning whether the judges were playing favorites, whether technical ability was being valued over journey and growth, whether someone dancing through a dislocated rib deserved more credit for their courage. The whole situation became a lightning rod for bigger debates about how strictly judges make their decisions. Meanwhile, Alex had confessed to really struggling physically after her performance, finally admitting what her body had been going through. The woman had given everything, every single thing she had, and it still wasn't enough. When Alex and Johannes stood with host Tess Daly after their elimination, the emotions were raw and real. Alex said she never imagined she would last this long, calling the experience the most incredible journey of her life. She talked about feeling proud, about loving every moment of the process, about how her constant smile showed her genuine happiness. She called Johannes a friend for life, cementing their bond beyond just dance partners. Johannes, clearly emotional himself, said he'd never grinned as much as he had in those weeks with Alex.
He thanked her for being a trooper, for pushing through pain and doubt and exhaustion. He said they'd achieved what they wanted to achieve, that these memories were just the beginning, that they were truly a Strictly family. It was beautiful, heartfelt, and absolutely gutting to watch. But let's talk about what makes this elimination even more tragic. Back in October, Alex and Johannes had created one of the most magical moments in Strictly history. They performed a rumba to Tracy Chapman's Fast Car that was so perfect, so emotionally powerful, that Shirley Ballas left the judge's desk to congratulate Alex personally. Anton Dubek followed suit, making it a Strictly first. They received a score of 36, with Shirley granting Alex a perfect 10. That performance showed everyone what Alex was capable of. It proved she belonged in this competition. It created a moment that will be remembered for years. To go from that incredible high to elimination just weeks later, especially while battling through injury, feels almost cruel. The context makes it even worse. Drag artist Lavoie had been forced to withdraw the previous week due to injury, meaning there was no elimination in Blackpool. The scores from that week got carried forward, creating a complicated leaderboard that combined 2 weeks of performances plus the Instant Dance Challenge points. This scoring system meant some couples had momentum building across multiple weeks, while others, like Alex, faced the accumulated weight of lower scores with no chance to reset. It's a format decision that undoubtedly affected the outcome. Some fans argue the system was unfair, that carrying over scores gave certain couples an unfair advantage, that someone battling injury deserved a fresh slate. Others defend it as necessary to prevent the competition from having too few finalists. The debate continues to rage online. What's particularly interesting is how this elimination fits into a larger pattern this season. Strictly 2025 has been beset with injuries to celebrities.
Stephen Dennis had already withdrawn earlier in the season after injuring his leg. Lavoie followed with a foot injury. Alex pushed through her dislocated rib until she couldn't anymore.
The physical toll this competition takes on celebrities, especially those who aren't professional dancers and are learning completely new skills in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, is absolutely brutal. It raises questions about duty of care, about whether contestants are being pushed too hard, about whether the pressure to perform through pain is becoming normalized. At the same time, you have to respect Alex's choice. She could have withdrawn. She could have taken time to heal. Instead, she chose to dance, to give fans those final performances, to honor her commitment to Johannes and the show. That's her decision to make, and there's something deeply admirable about it, even if it makes you wince watching her push through obvious pain. The 5 remaining couples now head into Musicals Week for the quarterfinals, knowing they survived one of the most emotionally charged eliminations of the season. They'll perform their regular routines and face yet another new dance challenge, though details on that haven't been fully revealed yet. The competition is incredibly tight, with multiple couples capable of winning it all. But Alex Kingston's absence will be felt. Her energy, her smile, her willingness to be vulnerable and real throughout this journey brought something special to Strictly 2025. Fans had grown attached to her story, rooting for the actress who came into this competition without any dance background and transformed herself week after week. To watch that journey end, especially under these circumstances, hit differently than most eliminations. There's also an interesting subplot about representation and age in this conversation. Alex, at 62 years old, proved that dance isn't just for the young. She showed that you can start something completely new later in life and excel at it. She challenged stereotypes about what older women can achieve physically. Her presence in the competition mattered beyond just entertainment. It sent a message to viewers that it's never too late to try something that terrifies you, to push yourself out of your comfort zone, to discover capabilities you never knew you had. That message resonates deeply with audiences who might otherwise dismiss Strictly as just light entertainment. What we're seeing in the aftermath is a fan base grappling with complex emotions. There's grief over losing a beloved contestant. There's anger at the judge's decision. There's frustration with the format changes that might have disadvantaged certain couples. There's admiration for Alex's courage. There's concern about the injury culture developing within the show. All of these feelings are valid, and they're what makes Strictly more than just a dance competition. It becomes a cultural touchstone, a shared experience that millions of people invest in emotionally every Saturday night. The leaked results culture adds another layer of complexity. Some fans actively seek out spoilers, wanting to know what happened before the broadcast. Others desperately avoid them, trying to preserve the surprise and emotional impact. The fact that insiders leak results has become so normalized that entire online communities have formed around discussing spoilers. It changes how people engage with the show, turning Sunday's results show into a formality for those who already know what happened. For Alex and Johannes, though, none of the outside noise probably matters as much as the relationship they built. Partnership in dance requires incredible trust, vulnerability, and communication. You're literally holding each other up, depending on your partner's strength when your own fails, creating something beautiful together that neither could achieve alone. That bond doesn't end just because the competition does. They'll carry those memories, those inside jokes, those moments of triumph and disaster for the rest of their lives. The question everyone's asking now is whether Alex's elimination was fair. Was it purely about the dancing, or did other factors come into play? Should judges have given more weight to her injury and what she overcame to even be on that floor? Should Balvinder have finally gone home after her 4th dance-off? There's no objective answer, which is precisely why the debate continues. Strictly relies on a combination of judges' scores and public votes, creating outcomes that don't always align with pure technical ability or popularity alone. That unpredictability is part of the show's appeal, even when it produces results that feel wrong to large portions of the audience. As we head into the final weeks of Strictly 2025, Alex Kingston's elimination will be remembered as one of the season's most controversial moments.
Not because of any scandal or dramatic blow-up, but because of the heartbreaking intersection of injury, timing, and tough decisions.
She came so close to the quarterfinals, overcame so much, and still fell short. Sometimes that's how these stories end, without the fairy tale finish we all wanted. But here's what can't be taken away from Alex Kingston. She showed up. She pushed through pain that would have sidelined most people. She created unforgettable moments on that dance floor. She proved that grace and resilience can coexist with vulnerability. She made people believe in the transformative power of dance. And she did it all with that smile she mentioned, the one that showed her genuine love for every second of this wild journey. That's the legacy that matters more than any trophy.